Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage and Reviews. Today we are reviewing the thinnest bumper plate in the history of bumper plates. If you look at this box, this is a 45-pound plate. Yes, this is made by a company called Wait It Out. They're a company that started during the pandemic. That's why they're called Wait It Out. Wait it out, but it's a wait. They are the original creators of the other thinnest plate, which is the one that almost smashed my toe, which is this guy. I'm pretty sure this company is a machining company of some sort. They've come out with some really kind of funny stuff. One of them was the revolver plate, which we've reviewed. More, I would say, novelty items. These, though, I don't think are novelty items because the more weight you can put on the bar, the more gooder. This is a very thin plate, as you can see. The bumper plate, though, if you can tell, it's not that much thicker. And so when you look at them compared to normal bumper plates, you're gonna be able to fit a lot more on the bar. So let's open them up and see them together. Okay, let's open this guy up. Ooh, a fresh blade. There's nothing like a fresh blade on a utility knife. Remember the time Sam cut himself when we were cutting mats at my parents' house?
Cut the nail in half.
Never forget that. Okay. Dang. All right, these are very thin. This is a 45-pound plate. Honestly, I would say the thickness, I mean, this is pretty similar to like a 15-pound black bumper plate, but this is very much a 45-pound plate. Now, this is using a premium rubber mix. It's a durometer of 90. A durometer of 90 is similar to what you'd find with, say, urethane bumpers, which means like the higher durometer, the harder the rubber. The harder the rubber, generally the less bounce. Softer the rubber, the higher bounce. So an example is like a Rogue HD 2.0 is gonna be, I think, around 87 or so on the durometer scale. I mean, although these are bumper plate, with a durometer that hard, and there's probably not that much rubber on this, if you think about it, to be 45 pounds of rubber, it's just not gonna work. Basically, the way that they're doing this, my assumption, is they're taking similar to the plates that they've already got, and they're wrapping them in rubber. So the core, which you can feel, come over here and feel this. Feel that? No, you don't. But do you hear it? It's not hollow, it's not rubber. This is actually basically a steel plate coated in rubber, so it can be called a bumper plate, and it has some extra protective capacities. But let's go ahead and get the calipers out and see just how thin they are. So for a competition bumper, the way that they're having weight is they have this center hub here. The center hub is where most of the weight's happening, and then this is all rubber. Sometimes they'll have some sort of other metal core within them, but this one is pretty much all rubber that you see. These, though, the 45-pound comes from all the rubber. So this is all rubber except for this steel inner core. And then basically it has these flanges oftentimes that latch onto the rubber. And that's what you've got as far as that. This is a completely different design plate. Honestly, pretty smart. And I can't think of another plate that's designed this way. One reason they're able to say these are the thinnest that there are. So a normal black bumper, around 71, 72 millimeters. Competition bumper, and this is a thinner competition bumper. There's ones that are thicker than these, 53 or so, 54 is typically what they list them at. And then this guy, what are we looking at? Okay, dude, just over 31. So it's almost half, which means you can fit double the amount of weight, which is pretty sweet. These are actually really well done. I like the lettering that's sticking off just so you can see exactly what they are. One thing about these, I do think this is kind of like premium. You can't tell it's premium unless it says premium. Don't do that. I wish it just said, you know, it's like, but it's 45 premium. Okay, so we're gonna weigh these bad boys. They're supposed to be 45 pounds like they say. They have a 1.5% variance, I think is what they list on their site. 44.9, dang, that's pretty accurate. That's not quite calibrated accurate, but that is very accurate. That's pretty darn good. Okay, let's throw them on the bar. So we're gonna be dropping this on a 3/4 inch, about, rubber floor. So if you're using a stall mat at home, this is basically what you're gonna get at home too. Yeah. See, that's kind of the problem. Because there's not a ton of rubber, it's gonna be, I'm gonna say these are basically in between a competition bumper and an iron plate in terms of dropping. These are not gonna be as protective. Like, you just, they're hard. These are, I would not want my foot under there, basically. These are not gonna be as protective as what you'd find with a competition bumper, but they're gonna be more protective than what you'd find with an iron. Let's try one more. Loud too, not gonna be great for your barbells. The most destructive thing to a barbell is a 25-pound plate, 25-pound competition bumper dropped overhead. Reason being, the actual load right here, like the torque that happens here, because it's so thin and not like displaced across the full barbell. Anytime Rogue, when they use SEA Limited to do their F rating, that's the rating that they used. And this is what causes the most damage. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend these if you're doing a lot of overhead work and you're worried about your barbells. But look how much you can fit on there. All right, just to show you an example, let's throw on the Eleikos. Take a look. So honestly, not that far off. I think the other ones hit harder, but honestly, the balance and everything isn't that much different, which is pretty cool. The biggest thing I think is gonna be your worry with your barbell because they're so thin. But if you're doing a bunch of weight on there, you're gonna take up more space anyways, so not that big of a deal. One thing on these, they're not cheap. For a pair of them, 270 bucks. They're on pre-order. The other thing though, and I think over time, maybe they'll offer others, but this is the only size they're offering. So it's only 45 pounds. I'm guessing with enough like interest from the community, if enough people buy these, they'll come out with a 55, a 25, never a 35, maybe a 35. But then you can have a full set. So overall, my review, I actually really liked them. I love it as an entry to the market. It offers something different than what other people are doing. It's thinking outside the box, not just white labeling something. And it's offering something that could be useful if you want a bumper plate that is ultra thin, because these are by far the thinnest bumper plates of all time. Watch your toe. All right, what do you think of the bumper plates? Let me know in the comments. Is the thinness of that enough to pay the extra cost? Let me know. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.